Jason here. Speaking of things that shouldn't exist but turn out to be pretty fucking sweet in the end, because that is the topic of this week's show, might I submit the existence of the very show currently being referenced. If you're a newcomer to this wonderful little experience that we call See No, Hear No, Speak No, you may not be completely aware of the fact that I, technically speaking, haven't ever met Chris or Rob in real life. Yeah, Chris and I attended the same high school for a short period of time before his journey east that deposited him in the heart of America's Wang. It's also very true that we had many of the same friends in our inner circles. But somehow our paths just never crossed. Even though one of my best friends from that period of time was his cousin, and I had met and hung out with his sister a few times. Now I can say this dude is one of my very best friends. Whilst in Florida, Chris actually worked for Robert. I've never liked any of my bosses enough to remember a single one's name yet. Now, this happenstance of convenience store employment with a 10-year gap in any interaction whatsoever has brought Rob into my life as well. Another friend who, to me, was a complete stranger not just 4 months ago. I record in my home in Kenner, Louisiana, which is a suburb of New Orleans. Rob in his palatial garage in or near Nashville, Tennessee. And for a week every month, Chris is melting just so deep into his couch cushion somewhere in the swamps of Florida. Otherwise, he's out telling the nation's lot lizards to keep right on dreaming because they're not quite freaky enough for him. So this show, just couldn't have existed 7 months ago. But here we are, and I, for one, think that's pretty fucking sweet. And that, my friends, is how babies are made.
But it's gonna take your money. The whole lot of spending money. Yep, it's gonna take your plenty of money. You should do it right, child. It's gonna take two.
Hello, everybody out there in Chris's USA. This is our new show. It's called Where in the World is Chris? He's a stupid bastard.
It is my USA, goddammit, because I'm the king of the road. You motherfucking four-wheelers better recognize.
I should have gone with Chris is king of the... Damn it. I was going to try to say something about you being gay.
King of the showers.
Let me work on it. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, I guess king of the road is, it's kind of implied in the background that all truckers are just really slamming it together in the bathroom, you know?
That's right. That's right. King of the chocolate.
Is that why them bathroom
they call it?
so
The Hershey
slippery?
Highway?
Yes, the king of the Hershey Highway, yes. That is Christopher.
That's
okay.
Awful. What did Rob say there? I missed that.
I said, is that why them bathroom floors always so slippery when you go into pilots and stuff?
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's slippery with trucker jizz. Welcome to another awesome little episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
The UFOs, the conspiracies, random liquids on the floor, and moitas.
And don't forget to email
and
us.
other shit, because...
Did we go back to the same email address after our little snafu with Apple?
No. Okay. Yeah. So we got a new email address. Do you know it? Do you know it, Rob? You got it written down?
I think it's like snhnsn podbean.gmail.
Nope.
At Gmail.
It's close though. SNHNSN pod. That's POD. At gmail.com. It's just a shorter, more abbreviated version of our old one, which is See No, Hear No, Speak No pod at gmail.com. Both, however, are still active. We're going to keep the other one up just in case one of you still decides just not to email us, because I get free games from Google out of it.
Yeah,
and don't forget our
works.
Patreon page, too. Give us $1.
I mean...
Or more. Because
Jason
holy
needs
shit,
new headsets.
I done fucked something up too with the web page, because our web address was See No Hear No Speak No Pod and then the number 1.podbean.com. I'm like, that's cumbersome. Our name is already cumbersome enough. We don't also need that number 1 there, right? So just to match the email, I tried to change it to snhnsnpod.podbean.com. So I did, and it successfully changed it to that. And then for some reason, every single website that features our feed including iTunes and all the other fucking podcast players, can't find the feed. So I then switched it back to see No Hear, No Speak, No Pod #1.podbean.com, and for some reason it still can't find our feed. So I've got some fucking reapplying to do tonight, so that all you wonderful people out there who aren't using Podbean or the internet at large to hear us can still hear us. So,
Indeed.
So today is
burglar.
today is Chris's episode, and I'm super excited about it because I tried to get it out of him earlier. He will not tell me, other than the broad feeling of his episode, what it is. So I'm excited about that. But before we jump into that, I just have the tiniest bit of news in that we may, I'm not going to say who or why or what yet, but we may have an actual guest soon on our show. It's someone that went to a college and has written a book, and wow, like, way to make me feel like what I'm doing is more than just some side hobby. Huh, Melissa?
Somebody who actually has an education and miraculously wants to talk to us. So I am deeply honored.
Yeah, it's super weird, and he knows about all of our jokes about dicks and use of the C word, and even more infrequent use of the R word. Yet somehow,
all of our obscenities, huh?
Somehow this British man, who is probably double our age, still wants to be on a little show called A See No Hear No Speak No.
UFOs, conspiracies, and murders.
And the rubble.
Indeed.
And me.
I'm kind of excited about that. You know how bad I am at this whole reading thing.
Yeah.
As a practitioner, I guess I'm okay at it or whatever. Like, I'm not stumped by any of the words or anything. But
like, I can read. It's just
It was never go to that book learning stuff, right?
No, the process just, it puts me to sleep, and it's good material. I've now succeeded in reading the table of contents of said British man's works.
Wow.
I'm truly interested.
Wow.
Okay.
I thought that I was reading it slowly because I'm only at the end of chapter 1.
I work 14-hour days. I barely get.
Oh no, I know, man. I know you do. But it is good. I mean, just reading his introduction, which guy, I've never sat through an entire introduction without saying fuck it, just get to chapter 1 already. But I read your whole thing and it was super, and I liked it, and I even sent screenshots of parts of it to my compadres. Is that a word? That's a word in Spanish? Yes.
It is.
So, but
that actually means godfathers.
Oh well, that's not what you guys are. So, just to throw that out there, so our whoever may give a shit, we might actually have someone who is not just a stupid person that we happen to know in life on the show. And I'm terrified of what I'm going to talk to this man about, because I'm usually asking Chris about his ass rash and shit. So
no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I promise you. I'm going to pull out some good questions.
Oh God! Thank God you said big questions.
Yeah, we got to get his number so we can like send him pictures and memes the whole way through the episode and try to throw him off and shit. No.
Oh God, yes.
We shouldn't put too much out there.
Cool. No, exactly, because we don't even know if it's going to happen for sure yet. But it's promising, and I just wanted to throw that out there because that would be cool.
If it doesn't
so anyway,
happen though, just you kids know it could have been fun.
And if it doesn't happen, just so you kids know, it was Chris's fault. So Chris.
Probably. Yes.
Take your episode away, sir. We are all ears, which is just a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, that sounds funny. Do you still have hands and feet and like a head of hair?
No, all ears. all ears.
Ooh.
Our hair is ears. Our hands is ears. Our fingers is ears. Our fingernails is ears.
Oh,
Our
ears
feet
on ears on
is
ears.
Everything's is ears. We are
That's
all
awful.
ears. It's good
And-
for listening, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of lobe to pierce there, if you want to. So, yeah, I didn't, Jason's pretty much right. I didn't tell him what this episode was about. I was fairly vague about it. And the reason he asks for the main subject without giving anything away is so that perhaps he can, get a little bit of a head start on some of his work that he does for the episode, the intros and such. But yeah,
Which is super funny because it would have been great if I'd have done that this week because we are 2 days late at least this week.
Indeed. But yeah, I was too vague, and he was left with that 50-50 question of which one of these I meant. So I said, this episode is going to be about shit that maybe shouldn't exist. Right, so he's left with the question to go either way of whether or not I mean morally or in what other way. In this case, it is not morally. Shit that, oh my God, this is a terrible person. He shouldn't exist in this world anymore or whatever. No, this is as a question of technology. Shit that maybe shouldn't exist, but
Which to me, I think that's more interesting because it's not just holy fuck, I hate this kind of person. Why are they here? And I wish they'd die. It's like now I'm really intrigued as to what kind of technology you're talking about that just shouldn't fucking exist.
well, okay. So this is a difficult thing. I'm going to do my best to convince you that my number one guess is not ancient aliens. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna hint to it very often or anything like that. I don't know what I'm gonna say, really, honestly, because it's really all based. I know what I'm gonna say about.
Well, it's
the episode,
weird
but-
because you literally say aliens for everything always. So
I know, and this is a tough one. That's why I say
So
it's gonna
not
be a
say
tough
it.
one.
yeah.
But I'm letting you know ahead of time that it's not my number one guess.
Okay.
Okay.
It's certainly your number 2 guess though.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
But
good,
maybe
good. Rob,
not though. It's really, I don't know. You'll decide each. Okay, so this is another one of those like a handful of little mini shits, floating in
Okay,
the pond.
no, great. I actually
know?
I enjoy our handful of mini shits episodes because they I don't know. We get to jump around and nothing gets stagnant. Not that
Yeah.
even the Chikatilo episodes were some of my favorite to do, and we just talked about that one guy for fucking 3 episodes. So
No, they were. It was vibrant though.
that was a ride. But yeah, Rob, first of all, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Second of all, you know what? I've decided in my infinite grace to let's go ahead and we're gonna repeal rule number 1.
What?
It's lifted.
It's lifted now. Just I mean, a repeal can be reinstated.
I thought, was that a harp from an angel?
That's the best I got. That's all I got.
When the Grinch's heart grows three times its size, or however many times it's supposed to be, and they show you like that little X-ray of his heart, and like
When
it
his
busts,
lips like curl upward.
yeah, and like but like his heart gets so big that it breaks the screen of the X-ray thing. Like
Right.
that would hurt. That would hurt so bad.
I think then you would be exposed to the radiation in a bad way.
And it's right on his heart,
Yeah.
and then like his heart's like his lungs are all. It's a whole host of medical problems that I don't think we have time to get into. But maybe next episode.
Maybe. Perhaps.
How the Grinch
stole
survived
cancer.
Christmas.
So Jason has a heart growing 3 times its size. I have something that grows 3 times its size.
Oh, see, Robert.
Oh.
Robert's always there for the basest of the humor.
Now just
Robert's
think
like,
though, if your heart was
growing?
also 3 times its size, How much blood could that pump
Oh my god!
into
Yeah,
your...
very true. Very true.
Oh, I couldn't even get that one out
also,
without
though-
laughing. Damn. I gotta bring it back.
Yeah.
See, that's why rule number 1 is in place here, so I can breathe.
Robert, is your favorite movie Soul Plane?
No, it's Fight Club.
That's
Is your favorite movie?
It's Fight
Is your
Club.
favorite movie Scary Movie 4?
Did they make a 4th one?
I think they're still making them.
I was gonna say it kind of blends together after what was the one with the aliens where they were making fun of War of the World?
The fact
Right.
that you know that there is a scary movie where they had aliens and making fun of World of World somewhat proves my point.
Hey! If anybody has ever
No,
watched
no, 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 no,
TNT for 12 hours, you've seen a scary movie.
That's
I
a
don't have cable.
marathon, son.
I don't have cable. I don't know.
I have Hulu and access to TNT anyway, even without
I-
cable.
Either
I
that
just
or
feel
Law
like
and
it's
Order
the
is on
internet,
TNT 24
allegedly.
hours a day. It's either Scary Movie or
See,
Law
now
and Order.
I could watch Law and Order. That I could do 24 hours a day. I
No.
could watch that. What's his name? Sam, the old guy from the Law and Order with the eyebrows.
Oh yeah,
Sam.
Watterson. Oh. Yeah. that's
Yeah,
right.
whatever his fucking man. I want him to be my dad so bad. I just want him to tuck me in at night and be like, "It's okay, son. We'll put that rapist away." And I'm like, "Daddy, what's a rapist?" And he's like, "Just watch TNT for 12 hours and you'll see." So,
All right,
speaking
Chris.
of shit that just should not be,
Yeah.
that was an okay segue. It wasn't great. It wasn't
no,
great,
no.
but I tried to get us back on track. I'm sorry, Chris.
It worked
Please.
for me though. It worked.
Okay.
I can appreciate it. So, yeah, we're gonna start out. You know how I like to do. I like to gradually move up to the pièce de résistance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Chris likes to take it slow. He likes to introduce you to every new move gently, so that you get
Every
used to
inch.
it. And then
Yeah.
he gets to the fucking scary bit right at the end, right when you're into it the most, to where you're like, I guess
Ballsy.
I'll let him do it.
Mm-hmm. And then he just crams the whole thing in. So, let's go with the first little piece here. There's this thing. It's a cup, actually, like a goblet. It's called the Lycurgus cup. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was the king of Thrace during
Okay.
the 4th century AD. So
okay,
this
so
cup is
300
about
something.
1600 years old. this
Sweet
point.
Jesus.
It depicts King Lycurgus himself caught in grapevines, right? Which is kind of, they speculate it's a throwback of some shit that was happening at that time. I forget exactly what it was. Doesn't matter. The
I
point
think
is,
they call that a Winnie the Poohian situation.
Winnie the Poohian.
Or they were
I like
low-key
that word,
calling him a
Poohian.
drunk.
Yes. Yes, where it's just like the whole honeypot on the head. You got the king stuck in the grapevines. You got the duke stuck in the I don't know, let's say toilet. You know,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm writing a book, Chris. Just get over it.
We got honeypots on toilets. I like it. I like where you're going with this.
Mhm.
It's an interesting journey. So, as far as we know, this is the only one. They assume that this was like it wasn't just ornamental. It was like special occasion sort of thing. He only broke it out for special occasion.
it was used.
It was the good China.
Right, well, it was definitely used, but it's the only one, right? So that's kind of weird. As as well crafted as this is, the artistry and everything, and when I get into why it's so cool, for there to be only one. It doesn't have to be another identical cup or something like that, but just other examples of how they got to this point, right? So that's
Okay.
it was acquired by the Smithsonian in the 50s. The mystery of the whole thing was actually solved in 1990 in England. So the thing is, the reason that we're not sure how or why this exists is the what happened was they finally were able. Okay, rewind. Sorry about that.
Please,
I'm jumping
yes,
ahead of myself.
Deep breath.
This cup, the reason it's so cool, face value. This cup changes colors. It's glass. It's
Okay.
made of, it's hand artisan, whatever glass. And it changes
Like-
colors.
And you said it's goblet shaped?
Yeah, it's like a grail goblet shape.
Okay.
So
Out of glass. Sweet.
yeah. So when you look at it in the light up front, it looks jade green, right? When you hit it with light.
Did you say
When you hit
gay
it with
green?
Jade.
Jade. Okay, good. Good.
Yes.
Just making sure.
What color green is gay green, I wonder?
I don't know. It's got to be real pretty though.
Is
It's
it
better than baby
seafoam?
shit green. I know that.
No doubt.
Yes. Oh,
No
infinitely better.
All right, so yeah, it's jade green when you hit it with light from up front. When you hit it from the back,
When you flip it over and hit it from the back.
God,
yep,
we are fucking fourth graders, man. God damn it.
That's okay. They like us for a reason because they're all fucking fourth graders too, and that's cool.
That's right.
So yeah, when you're looking at it from the front, but the light is shining from the back, it looks blood red.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Each different type of liquid that you put in it as well will also help to change the effect.
What the shit?
And change the color. Right. Exactly.
that's awesome.
What the shit. Yeah. So they tried it with vinegar. They tried it with wine. They tried it with water solutions and oil.
I'd have been the dude
solutions
just
and-
being like, "Please let me pee in it." Come on, man.
Right?
Just like nobody's drinking it. Just let me pee in it.
I'll watch
I bet
it.
it does
I'll
look
watch
real cool
it.
when you pee in it.
So obviously this is a piece, it's a piece of history. So you can't actually do it. You can't actually do the test with the actual goblet itself. They had to recreate the thing. But that's the thing. In 1990, what happened was they tested. They looked at it underneath an electron microscope. Up until that point, any other tests that they may have done to it, any other way they may have looked at it, did not reveal the secret. It wasn't until they hit it with an electron fucking microscope. Now, obviously, you can dial in an electron microscope on a spectrum, from this far away to this close. But
Right.
still, the weakest of the settings, I imagine, is far closer than any other microscope you could possibly use in a laboratory that doesn't.
Right.
I mean, you have to send off for the results for an electron microscope. There's labs that just do that. So clearly this is not a piece of equipment that just every scientist has, right?
Indeed.
All right. So that's a big deal, right? That they didn't see this, that this piece of art, as we'll call it, because that's what this thing is fucking awesome. This piece of art didn't reveal its secrets until they hit it with a piece of technology that could understand what was going on. Because until then, it's a magic cup.
I see the piece of art, right? And I see it strapped to a chair, like the chair that James Bond is in that the first new movie where the bottom's cut out and his balls are hanging out from under it. And I see somebody, I just see somebody, he's got technology and it's on the end of a rope and he's swinging it around, right? And he's just hitting this art with technology.
I will never
get
forget
its
that
secrets.
scene.
Oh, he's getting those fucking secrets out of that art with the technology, and I love it.
That scene is so good.
Oh, it hurts so good.
It's the best. So while we're talking, though, I'm going to send you guys a picture of
I was
each
about
of
to say
these
we need
things.
we need to start doing that. We need to we have a goddamn group messenger thing for a fucking reason. Send us just the cup so far because it'll be cool to be able to visualize this shit while we're fucking talking about it for sure.
It'd be nice to
Right.
get something other than dog penises too.
Okay, you haven't received a single actual dog penis. It's just the closest approximations we can get through gifts.
That's right. The closest. That's all it is. Don't be weird, Rob. Don't
Yeah,
make
Rob.
it weird.
Yeah, it's already weird enough, so don't make it any weirder.
I was about to say you're the one sending them, and you were telling me not to make it weird. Okay.
Oh
right.
man, no. What was weird is
not
that
as I do.
what was weird was the one time that you tried to get dog penis, and I just felt dirty for some reason. I was like, this has lost all the innocent fun that Chris and I had with it. I don't even remember what your picture was. It was probably just as innocent, but I was just like, this man's got kids. He's sending us a gif with dog penis on it.
Leave it to me to take it to the next level. What can I say? I'm always up here when you need
You
me
gotta
down
do your
here.
part sometimes.
It's really weird that Robert's next level is everyone else's lower level.
That's okay though. He's coming along nicely.
No, I like it. He's coming out of his shell. He's blooming into a beautiful stinkweed.
A beautiful stinky flower. Okay, so here comes. Alright, so anyway, I'm gonna keep talking and try not to stumble over myself as I send you guys these pictures at the same time. I'm not really very multitasking like that. If I was chewing gum right now, it'd be fucking over. Alright, let's just
So was it made out of like
Um,
some crystal or quartz or something? Or was it just normal glass that they did something to?
Is it painted or is it see through?
You'll see. You'll see. So
Okay.
it's definitely not crystal or quartz. It was what you call it. It's they call it dichroic glass because dichroic just meaning that it changes colors.
Oh, okay.
Right,
You
so-
know when they came out with all the what was it called hypercolor or whatever, like in the late '80s, early '90s with the shirts and shit.
Hell
That shit was
yeah.
magic, man. That shit should not have existed because I was a big old fat kid, man, and I was at least 10 degrees hotter than literally everybody else anywhere I went. So my shirt never changed colors because it was always the hottest color. Oh wow, that's a badass fucking cup, Chris.
Is it not?
That's a cool fucking cup, man. Wow.
I thought so.
Okay, so and that's the different fucking colors and shit too. Wow.
And that's with no liquids in it.
Wow.
I haven't.
Oh.
I can't seem to find their their version of it and their test result because what they said they had to do. Let me just tell you what the electron microscope revealed, and then I'll tell you how they had to put it together or whatever. I'm not going to go into the real specifics.
Real quick, other question though. Like
Uh-huh.
the figures that are on it, that's glass as well, right? Because I'm seeing
Yeah.
through it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if that was also like the metal relief, like at the bottom and top. Okay, go ahead.
So what they discovered was that there are it's basically powderized particles or fragments of gold and silver. So small, in fact.
Wow.
These things are 50 nanometers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why I took an electron microscope to see them because that's smaller than most viruses.
So they had somebody just really pounding the fuck out of some gold and silver to get it to this kind of powdery consistency.
Well, that's the question. That's one of the questions. How the fuck did they do that? That you like no amount of elbow grease can do that. Like they don't
Right.
know what the process was or what gave them the idea in the first damn place to do this. Because what winds up happening is that when the light hits it, it excites the electrons in the gold and the silver in different ways so that it alters the color from certain angles that you view it.
Ah, okay. So
Right.
it's like, hey, electrons, we're going to the beach today, and they're like, yeah. And then it's like, hey, electrons, it's your birthday, and they're like, yay. And then it's like, hey, electrons, we're gonna kill that guy that keeps trying to touch you at school. And they're like, yay.
It's
And that's
similar
all the
to
different
that.
colors. Okay,
So
sweet.
imagine, okay, so you see this picture here, and you see the green one and the glowing red one. Well, that's that's the same light from the same direction. You're just looking at it from two different sides, right? The side with the light hitting it is green, but if you walk around to the other side, so the light stays in the same place, but you walk around to the other side of the cup, and it's glowing blood red.
Gotcha.
That's the difference in the particles, hitting the angles and the blah 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 blah. So it's badass.
Just
is
post
badass.
your picture on the Facebook page
Cool.
since you
So
are worse Luddite than I
because
am.
it's an artifact and they can't obviously put different liquids in it to test the color changing and stuff like that, what they wound up doing was building little pieces, little plates of it themselves in the lab or whatever. They put them
Okay.
together and they basically built like a sheet of it, and then they tested different liquids on it, or they shaped it into whatever they needed to be able to test different liquids. And what they found was not only awesome, but it's a total game changer for several different things. So what they found was that it's generally light green for water solutions, red to red for oil solutions, but they tried like salty solutions and sugar solutions and all kinds of stuff, and it changes the color in varying degrees of. I pretty much have found that it seems to just be those two colors, but just
Okay. But different shades
sharper.
and brightnesses and
Exactly.
Almost
Exactly,
looked like you
which-
could use it as a prop to tell a story, looking at the three different shades. Like an underworld, a heaven, and just an
Oh.
earth. Because like the one on the left looks like just a regular normal guy, and then the one in the middle looks like somebody basically getting roasted in hell, and the one on the right looks like someone ascending to heaven with all the gold and sparkles and.
Excuse me. That's an awesome theory. I did not think of that.
absolutely. Yeah, because wow. Rob, you are one complex guy.
I try.
That makes a lot of sense, sir. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, and Chris, real quick, you know what I found to be really interesting about this is that the first tab open in your browser is for teledildonics.
I cropped all of that
Wait.
out for the Facebook post. I didn't even want to look at the open tabs because I did not need that mental scar.
Oh, yeah, the teledildonics. Yeah, we were supposed to do an episode about that for Christmas, and
Not
just never got to it.
teledildonics, just regular dildonics. Come on, man. And now you're doing all this quote unquote home research. Anyway, back to the topic.
You got to go
again.
techie with it. So, all right. So what they found ultimately was that this technology is not only technically nanotechnology, like by definition, these are nanoparticles, right? That perform a function on a very much not nano scale. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
But what they found is that as far as testing the sensitivity of the way it changes colors. Okay, so
Like to
They-
to the degree like it like a god damn it. Like there's just it can do very slight changes, in other words.
yeah, very very slight changes. Like this technology is literally 100 times, and I saw this on a couple different websites. This technology is literally 100 times more sensitive to altered levels of salt than any current commercial sensor on the fucking market.
Wow.
And that's medical grade shit.
So this
Wow.
could have been
It-
also like
yeah.
a poison detector too, where if they hand him a drink and he
Exactly.
looks at it and he's like, I ain't drinking that.
That is exactly what I was
Exactly.
thinking. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense too. I didn't think about it till you said it, but yeah, it makes perfect sense. Now
'Cause
again,
you'd be
how
able to
the
tell
fuck,
what was in it by the color. Yeah.
how the fuck would they have come up with this? What?
Okay, my best guess, which I was gonna fuck with you and just say aliens for each thing, but
Right.
but my best guess, like to this, absolutely seriously, since this is the one and only, because there can be only one,
Yeah.
is accident.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like maybe he was like, yeah, make me like this cool ass glass goblet and shit. And you know what? Just because I'm the king and shit, and I want like fancy shit, because I'm the fucking king and shit. I want some like powder up some gold and silver real good and mix it in with the glass. I don't even want to know it's there, so like powder it real fucking good and shit because I'm the king and shit, and I gets what I want and stuff. But yeah, just grind that down real good and mix it in with the glass, and then make me a goblet with a naked dude on it because I'm king.
Well,
And then it just so happened to change color with stuff.
there could have been lots of these. I mean, they're glass and it's from the 4th century, so how many of them could have actually survived through the centuries?
But this had to have been something that was so exorbitantly expensive to make. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't
mean,
think this is something that
back in-
Joe Glassblower down the fucking road could have made.
Well, back in the Roman times, glass was more expensive. I mean, it was like precious kind of thing. And they actually had
So were
all
little
of-
boys.
and they actually
you don't
had
see
all of
people
their-
blown into them.
Romans, but they actually locked down all of their glass makers, so that way if they fled, it was punishable by death, kind of thing. They did not want that technology getting out, kind of like the Chinese
yeah.
I
with
would
the
just-
silk. They didn't want that technology.
Jesus, I would
getting out.
not go into the glass. I would not go into the glass trade.
It was like family kind of thing.
Right.
It was passed down.
That's like if I don't know, running a register was so valuable that they put you in jail for doing it because it couldn't get out. The secret cannot be loose.
Yeah. Can anybody tell me what the
hilarious.
secret herbs and spices are for KFC?
Shit. Rob, we would have never made it out of 7-Eleven alive with all of their proprietary technology.
Yep.
Do you guys know that when I worked at Blockbuster, if I had invented anything from the time that I worked at Blockbuster up until 10 years later, they would legally own the rights to it? That was in my fucking contract to work at fucking Blockbuster.
Get
What?
the fuck out of here.
Really?
Wow.
Seriously.
That's some Edison
Yes.
shit right there. Oh, you invented that? Well, you worked for me.
it's-
That's mine now.
That's
That's
some
evil.
fine print, scandalous shit.
Super evil. Anyway,
Yeah.
Chris, what is your best guess as to the, I don't know, origination of this cup?
I mean, yeah, my best guess was gonna say an accident as well.
You can say aliens. Go ahead. It's okay.
No, I mean,
You're in a safe place.
I'm gonna say interdimensional
You know-
traveler from the future.
I think some things are a complete fluke. I really do. There's been a lot of things
Yeah.
over the years that were a complete fluke.
Fucking
And,
penicillin, complete fluke. God damn it.
The microchip?
Actually, yeah.
That came up by
I
a
heard something
guy
the
on
other day
LSD.
Where they
That's
went
not what
through.
Phil Corso says.
Ooh, and we all believe Phil Corso, whoever that is.
Well, I'm going to do an episode about Phil Corso eventually. But,
He better have fucking murdered someone, Chris.
Nope. Nope.
Damn it.
He did nothing, actually.
Oh,
No,
well then,
he did a lot of shit.
well then
but
he's
no.
perfect for this show.
No, because I mean, if you say aliens, it's like one of those things that why the fuck would they have gone to some weird place in time to give us this technology for us to use? I mean, Really, of all the
You know what? Maybe it
testing
was
salt
like
levels.
It could have been
like not to be insensitive, but maybe it was aliens, and it was like we were with the Indians, and we're like, here's some shiny beads. Give us New York.
or it could have been a drunk
know?
alien stumbling out of the UFO. He had to take a leak, and he just sat his cup down, and his phone rang, and he picked it up and forgot about it and just left.
Indeed. Like,
That
what if
was his
that's their
pimp cup.
version of a that's their version of a Mardi Gras cup, and he's just like, fuck it, I got like a whole stack of them in my closet, you know?
Fuck yeah, his pimp goblet. I like it. I
All
like
right.
it. I don't know.
I like
don't
I
know.
like the
It's a
color
weird one.
change cup, man. That's very fucking cool. And no, that should not exist because it is not a hypercolor cup that changes with hot and cold. And
I mean,
I believe it to be a witch, and I believe it need be burned.
yeah, I
In
don't think
league
it
with the
floats.
devil.
So it's probably a witch.
In league with the devil.
Yeah, it's a weird one, especially being that it's the only one that we've found so far. There's not even any like prototype, failed tests of pieces of the glass or anything like that. That's the only thing that's ever
That
been
shit
like
is crazy. That is crazy.
this. So, yeah.
Now, wait. One more question about the cup. And serious, was the because you said that the pieces, the flakes of gold and silver were like nano sized, correct?
Yeah, 50
Now,
nanometers.
like I know that let's say like the nanofabrics and shit like that we're making now that are stronger than steel but lighter than cotton kind of deal. Like I know that they're built in a certain structure, like they're weaved in a certain kind of structure. Was this in I mean, they looked at it under electron microscope. Was it in some sort of mathematic structure, or was it all haphazard? Just there's a ton of these flakes in there, and it just so happens.
They didn't make mention specifically of any kind of
Okay, that's
noticeable
fair.
pattern, but
I just know that certain patterns will reflect light differently than others.
right, right, and that makes a lot of sense. But they did say that in order for them to have done this and done it flawlessly, like they did,
Right.
it's impossible for this to be the one and only try.
Right. There had to have been
not
trial and
possible.
error.
There had to have been tons of it because the difficulty level of just powderizing the gold and silver to that fine a degree is like borderline not even man possible. But if saying that technique is possible, which like I said, it's borderline, but even still to do it, wow, it would be a lot. It would be a lot of work. It would be a lot of trial and error. There are mathematical figures in the process because there has to be other ingredients in order to make it all stick properly and do what it has to do, right? I don't know how you blow glass, but there has to be a ratio, a proper ratio.
It's $20,
Right.
the same as not
Otherwise,
having.
Well,
it won't. It
to-
won't
to
be nearly as sensitive as it is.
To summarize, it takes a whole lot of money, a whole lot of spending money, a whole
Yeah.
lot of patience and money to do it
Indeed.
right, child. To do it, 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 to do it right. I got my mind set on you.
Indeed, I've got my mind set on nanotechnology. 50 nanometers is plenty small enough to inject into the bloodstream. Like it's
Of
tiny.
George Harrison, yes.
It's tiny, tiny. All right, so yeah, that's a pretty cool piece there. Moving
What's
on,
next?
I'm gonna run through a couple of little ones,
Okay.
before getting to the bigger ones because we're pushing like almost the halfway point. So
Yeah, we're at 45.
so they got these things on Mount Baigong in China, one of their ancient, most revered mountains. I'm not going to go into
Aren't-
any of the stories of Mount Baigong.
aren't all mountains ancient, Chris?
Indeed. So, like, literally. Um, so these things are called or referred to as the bygone pipes, right?
Okay.
When they were discovered, they they're said to be hollow metal cylindrical pipes that are embedded in the mountain and are
Like plumbing?
yeah, yes, exactly like plumbing,
In the
Sweet.
mountain or
but
like
embedded.
part of the mountain?
No, like they were driven through it.
Wow.
Yeah,
And so
wow.
far through it that they reach the water.
Okay, wow.
Right. So that's the thing. How the hell did that happen? Right.
So absolutely man-made, not natural. There's no mistaking it whatsoever. Absolutely 1000% man-made.
Well, the problem with that is that it's not actually metal. It looks like metal, but nothing that I found gave any kind of metallurgical analysis, even to the most minute degree of what kind of metal these could be. They just said everything just says it looks like metal, but it can't be. So, what else is it?
Okay. But they were perfectly cylindrical, fucking hollow pipes.
Tubes, yes.
Tubes.
Driven through the mountain.
Wow.
Yes.
Jesus.
Right.
I'm at a maybe it was an accident.
Well, the common and most accepted theory is that these are the most ancient, petrified, fossilized tree roots ever found.
Wow.
So,
So like how big, like in diameter, would you say these are?
They're big. Like some of them are up to like I want to say they said something like 10 centimeters in diameter,
Wow, that is pretty big.
and some of them are only like 2 or 3. Yeah.
And so why oldest petrified tree fossils and not oldest toilet tubes?
Right. Well, I mean that's the thing is that at first they said metal tubes, and some of the shit that when you see this on they'll mention it on Ancient Aliens. They say metal tubes. Actually, a couple of these things they mention on Ancient Aliens, but they don't say everything about it. They just make quick mention of it. But no, there's a few things that'll say they thought when they found them they thought they were metal pipes, but they're not metal. Nothing
Okay.
actually gives a metallurgical analysis of it, and that could also be, however, it's in China, so China only lets
Right.
out what it wants to, and B, it's in China, so China only allows what it wants to. So perhaps
Right.
it's not legal for them to do testing on these things and actually come
Yeah.
up with
because China's actually
Well, I'm
covered
gonna-
pyramids and planted trees and dirt and everything else over them, so satellites couldn't take pictures of this stuff. They've been hiding a lot of
Right.
stuff for a century at least from the outside
Yeah.
Well,
world.
that's just like putting up a cover over your back patio so people don't see you hanging outside naked. Come on.
Mhm.
It's their business. It's their back patio, man. They can cover it if they want. Whatever.
No, they didn't use
I
like a
guess.
secret Wu-Tang style to drive these pipes into the mountain.
That would be fucking awesome.
See, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and say that my theory is that they are toilet pipes because how else are the ancient Chinese gonna listen to a little show called See No Hear No Speak No?
Ah, that's a good question. And what would they do without their UFOs, conspiracies, and murders?
That's it. That's a better question.
he
Actually,
missed it. He missed
he
it.
did.
Okay.
That was the perfect time to say, and me.
Yeah, what would they do without their robot?
You guys are killing me because you're doing it like every 10 minutes, and I don't know what to do. I'm like,
We're freaking him out, man. He's like, I don't know.
am I supposed to
It's
interject
improv.
here? I mean, I know you took away rule number one, but damn.
It's improv. None of us were in that club, so we're all just kind of winging it by the seat of our dicks. Wait, no,
Yes,
that's
man.
not how that works. Anyway,
That's how I
moving
see it.
on. We're going to move on to Russia now.
Mother of
That's
Russia.
close enough to China. That should be a short trip. Yeah.
Right. Because, tons of fucking anything we could ever talk about on this show also happened in Russia.
This show could just take place in Russia.
Indeed. Yeah. And if we knew more about China, I guarantee it could just take place in China as well.
Absolutely.
So, moving on to Russia, we're going to go to Vladivostok.
I thought it was Vladivostok.
There's two O's. So
Okay, we all know that Jason Rambo is the premier Russian reader, speaker out louder.
pronunciator.
That's the word I was looking for. Fuck, I'm stupid.
Well, you're pretty good at enunciating as well. So. So, yeah. Okay. So Vladivostok, if that's how you want to say it. And we're gonna talk about this dude Dmitri. Of course, this dude Dmitri.
I was about to say,
right?
because of course his name is Dmitri.
Right. So
That's like the Russian Rob.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly. So he was on his on his own land, and he was shoveling coal into a fire, and he.
That's what I
picked
imagine
up-
every Russian is doing at all times. Yes.
Yeah, but this one he noticed this lump of coal he was about to reach for sticking out of the ground, and it had this piece of metal sticking out of it, and this piece of metal looks like it has teeth, like not human teeth or animal teeth,
Right,
but
like a serrated edge.
right, like a cogwheel or a plate on which a cogwheel
okay.
would roll, but that
Okay.
also has the teeth to allow it.
Like machinery teeth.
Gear.
Exactly. When it was analyzed, because it's Russia, they can do what they want for the most part in that way. Anyway, nobody gives a shit about this. It came out to be mostly aluminum and 2% magnesium, which is not something currently produced today or generally produced at all for most reasons, because it's just, it's mostly aluminum. However,
Right, which would be too flimsy for anything.
right. However, to say that it's 98% aluminum is to say that it is highly refined.
Right. Because for
Right.
something to be 98% anything, that's pretty fucking pure.
Yeah, and it does not. You cannot extract it at that purity level. It has to be
Right.
refined. So, yeah. The coal, however, now this is a weird thing about coal, is that when they do radiocarbon dating on coal, it routinely gives back ratings, right? A reading. Now, coal is supposed to take upwards of 300 million years to produce, to metamorphosize into itself, from animal shit and bones to this fun-loving material. 300 million years is a long time, right? Now, the carbon should have broken down and disappeared within the first 90. So that is to say that radiocarbon dating isn't always the most spot-on
Right,
thing
but
that we
it
can do.
usually gives you a ballpark.
Yeah, and the ballpark for this coal is about 300 million years old.
Holy fuck, man.
That's dinosaur
Now,
coal right
what
there.
is this thing? Yeah. Right, so what is this thing doing in it?
I just chilling, you know?
Yeah. Other than that, now that's not even the first one. That's not even that doesn't even begin to like there's like 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 different stories of people finding this type of shit. There was this little kid in the 1940s in West Virginia who found a bronze bell in a chunk of coal he was shoveling into his family's furnace, and it was a brass alloy bronze fucking brass bell.
Now, is there no way to manufacture this type of coal quicker than naturally have it be made?
No, because
Definitely not in the
everybody
40s.
uses natural. Yeah, everybody uses natural coal unless it's refined over again and turned into like briquettes and shit like that.
Right. But that's still from natural coal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay,
if you've ever seen natural coal, which I have, in Mexico they still use that for their barbecues and shit. It looks like a tree. It's just black
it looks
and
like
brittle.
burnt bark or whatever.
Right.
Or burnt chunks of like bark and a little bit of flesh. Yeah. You know, people that really barbecue with coal still use that here too, Chris.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had never seen that before in the regular states. So anyway.
you know what I always thought was the weird thing about coal is that it's called coal, but when you burn it, it makes things hot.
Mm-hmm. And it leaves coals behind.
Ooh, see?
So-
Layers upon layers.
Yeah. Coal leaves coals. That's strange in itself. So still, 300 million years, man. How the hell? And it's not as if these things are just like kind of stuck in them, as if maybe they were, I don't know,
Shoved in or something?
yeah, maybe like the kid dropped the bell or somebody dropped the bell a few years earlier and the coal was sitting like damn near surface level and it just got pounded into the ground by a horse or some shit like that. It's not like that. This shit is embedded. How does that happen?
So, okay, well then my second best guess is that there was a dinosaur watchmaker and he lost a gear to one of the watches he was making.
Oh well, we're gonna talk about gears. We're not even there
Oh my
yet.
god!
We gotta.
I thought you were saying. I thought you were gonna say we were gonna talk about dinosaur watchmakers. I was about to have a fucking conniption.
No, but we do have 3 other things to get to though. So we gotta.
Okay, so let's get to it.
We gotta get off this coal. But the coal is like the starting point of the weird shit that we're moving on to. So moving on, we're going to talk about 1998, this dude who is an electrical
1998 was
engineer.
weird.
It was a good year. It was. This electrical engineer named John J. Williams was hiking somewhere in North America. He will not disclose the precise location.
Oh well, then he can totally be trusted.
Well, just wait. So he found this thing sticking out of the ground and then excavated the rest of it. He came up with the collective they came up with 2 pretty clever names for it. They call it the Enigma Lith.
Okay.
Right? So the puzzling monolith, basically, and the Petrodox.
Oh, I like the second one the best.
Yeah, that's pretty clever, right?
Or I actually, if you smoosh them together and you say the Enigma Petrodox, I like that.
Enigma Petrodox.
Step right up
dig
and
it.
see the Petrodox for 2 bits.
I
That's
dig
right.
it.
Have you ever seen a monolith such as this? I expect not.
I expect not. Oh, you shush, you stinky kitty. You don't need anything. I gave you everything. Sometimes she just likes to talk. Anyway,
That's okay. We got to get her a microphone.
right? He found this rock basically when he unearthed the entire thing. He found a rock This is a granite rock. It is
Mm-hmm.
pure 100% granite, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's basically quartz and feldspar. It's like one of the hardest rocks on the planet, and it only grows a certain way. It's fucking granite, right? They've done the tests. This guy will allow this. The thing about him, he will allow people to do any tests. He welcomes testing so long as he is present for the tests, and the rock is not destroyed or damaged in any way. Now, certain tests, scrapings and stuff like that have to be done, and these things and these things. But as long as it's not broken or cut into, or stuff like that. Other than that, he welcomes
How
any
big
tests.
is this? How big is this monolith?
Oh, here, actually, I'm sorry. Let me send you the picture of that. Um,
Because
so
monolith usually means pretty large, right?
pretty large. Yeah, it's fairly large. It's not huge, and I guess these pictures really don't
So
give you much of
bigger than a cat, smaller
scale.
than a person.
They don't really give
bigger
you
than a
much of a
person,
scale of it. It doesn't
bigger
look
than
big.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's move on. Because you
Yeah,
take way too long sending pictures.
Well, it's already done. You got to look
Oh
at
shit. Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. All right.
So yeah, judging by the size of the feature, it doesn't look big. There's a website that gives you the exact dimensions of the damn feature. So anyway, he unearthed a fucking rock, which embedded in the side of it is what looks like a 3-pronged outlet plug, the male
What the
side.
fuck?
Right. They've done the testing on the rocks. I mean, on the rock itself. Okay, let's go into this.
What the fuck?
He has been offered upwards of $500,000 for it. Will not sell it, but he will allow all research as long as he's present and no harm to the rock. This granite rock, by itself, through the process and blah blah blah, so far they only date the rock itself to be about 100,000 years old. Still 100,000 years. Way
Yeah.
too old.
That actually looks like an
so-
old light bulb. You ever see the old style like
Ah,
tube light
yeah.
bulbs?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So apparently it does have a slight magnetic pull to it, attraction. The prongs themselves do resonate or whatever on the when you put an ohm meter to it.
Really?
Yes. There is a whatever that's called, a reaction.
A conductiveness?
Yes.
Wow.
There are no. I didn't see any metallurgical tests on the prongs themselves. I didn't see any
to
results
tell
of
if they
that.
were actually metal or not.
Yeah,
Because
they
I was gonna
look
ask.
metal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. One, are the prongs actually metal? Two, is that plastic that they're coming out of, or
That's
rock?
the thing.
Because it
Yeah,
looks
I'm
like
definitely
fucking
getting
plastic.
to that. I'm definitely getting to that. So yes, they have tested that core plug looking thing. It's not wood. It's not plastic. It's not metal. It's not rubber. It's not any other material that we know of.
So it's not like a
But
ceramic.
we also, it's not ceramic. But we also know we also can't say that it's, extraterrestrial either. We're just saying that it's nothing that we've made specifically.
Wow.
They're not sure what the metal prongs actually are or how far into it they go because he will not allow them to crack it open. But x-rays done on it do show that it has an opaque internal structure. So
Which
maybe
means
a
that there's
giant
stuff
geode?
inside it.
yeah, there's something going on in there. Not actively going on in there, but there's something in there. Hollow-ish, yeah. But granite is not known to be a geode, I don't think, so it's
No.
not like it's hollow for that reason.
Dude,
Which,
what the fuck?
yeah, the guy had a geologist and an engineer friend of his test it, and they said the component inside of there or whatever was not glued or welded in any way that they know of. How it was cored out and put back in, they don't know. If it's the rock that the core is, they don't know. They don't know. They do know that it is not an accretion, a concretion, a pummel, or fossil. It does not contain any known resins, cement, glues, adhesives, limestone, mortar, or any other non-granite binding agents.
Wow.
And that's all they know.
So it's just a hole in granite with an electrical fucking plug, most likely, in it. And the hole is so perfectly sized that there is no sticky or fucking... There's nothing binding the fucking plug to that hole.
Nothing.
Yeah, it looks like the rock
Nothing
is
that they
actually
can tell.
around of it. I mean, because you can see it's embedded. You can see that it's actually in the rock. That there's not.
It's recessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, it almost seems like the rock grew over it.
Right. But that would take... that would... What?
And that
Okay,
picture is on our Facebook page right now.
I mean, to be the cynic that I am, well, not even, because it's not like I have the answer or whatever, but I mean, can we all agree that if this guy weren't so stringent about his testing policies, that this whole mystery could probably be cleared up in an afternoon by a reputable team of scientists?
Oh, I'd imagine he could have drilled a hole in it
Sure.
and stuck it in there and kind of fastened it in there in a way to where if you do
And then
break it
and
open,
then got
you'll
a
see it.
geologist friend of his to fucking
Oh, I'm
say
sure the
that there
rock
was
is
no adhesive,
old.
blah blah blah.
I mean, you can go
Well,
out
yeah,
and
I'm
pick
sure
up
the
an
rock
old ass
is old.
rock and pop it in
Yeah,
there.
but it like Chris said, the two people that he had really take a look at it and said that there were no adhesives, so on and so forth, were friends of his.
Yeah, but you can't get
So-
in the rock. I mean, if he put some glue on the inside of it and stuck it in there, you wouldn't know.
Absolutely, very, 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 very true. But like you were saying, and I agree, from that picture, it does look like the outside of the rock lips over the ridge of the rim of that plug piece. That's fucking crazy. Okay, people, if you want to see these pictures that we're talking about here, please go to our Facebook page. Just search for See No, Hear No, Speak No podcast and check it out, because Robert is on his shit tonight. He's already posting them, so go check it
he
out,
is.
because this shit's it's weird, and these pictures are us talking about them are doing them no justice. So please,
None.
please go fucking check them
What
out.
can I say? I'm a shower.
Ah, nice.
And once again, just drags us into the mud.
Yeah, no, he's nothing if not consistent.
Oh, I love it.
So,
Okay,
all
so
right.
do you have another one?
Yeah. We got two more, real quick. We're gonna fit two more in. So
Gross.
yeah, that one's.
I was about to say that's what she said.
Oh, I'm gonna spit all over him. You'll see. It's gonna happen. Find something to bow down on, Cupcake. So, yeah, then that one is a big what the fuck, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Because I
it's just-
literally can only say aliens for that one. If
it's too perfect.
Or
Yeah.
when Atlantis exploded, it rained everywhere, and that's the remnants of what was left.
Okay, but okay, all right. So maybe somehow
dude's
the
too secretive.
explosion
Dude
embedded.
is too secretive.
What's that, motherfucker?
The dude's way too fucking secretive. There's no way
Yeah,
that
but-
this can be completely genuine with, oh, I'm not going to tell you where I got it. Oh, no, you can't do any real tests on it. Oh, my name's Robert and I live in fucking Nashville, you know?
I mean, but that's easy enough to say. But then again, where's the novelty?
it was pretty easy
factor.
to say.
Where's the novelty factor and memorabilia factor in having something cool if you let them bust it open and then you're left with nothing because they used it all for fucking scientific testing?
How about the worth is in collective human knowledge. If this thing is genuine and he knows it's genuine, he should want to know how the fuck it happened.
No, I'm agreeing with you there. The pursuit of knowledge is more important than your novelty. Fucking
Than having some knick-knack,
being a cool guy.
You know? Yeah. But anyway, I didn't mean to drag us back into the story. Let's continue.
No, I agree, but that's true. I don't see any other real explanation for how that would have happened. And what the fuck? Why? What is it with granite? Really? What is it with granite? Is it the quartz that makes it useful in this sort of scenario? Because what does this plug into? What does it do when you plug it in? What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck?
I'm thinking really rudimentary disco ball.
Okay. All right. I feel that. Or what about? Oh no, because it looks porous, right?
Yeah.
It looks almost like a pumice stone
absolutely.
or something like that. So, but no, granite is not porous. Not like a coral or not coral. But
No, like it wouldn't
like a
go all the way
pumice or
through.
something.
Yeah.
Right, lava rock or some shit like that, right? So
Right,
otherwise,
right.
I was thinking like you plug it in and it like dehumidifies the room.
That.
I don't know. I don't know. So
Oh Jesus! It's the first
Yeah.
air purifier.
right. So moving on. You'll all find this one on Ancient Aliens too, and you may have heard of this one before, but it's just really cool and it kind of fits into this category. So I'm gonna go over it real quick anyway. The Antikythera mechanism. I'm sure
Not
if
by
you
name,
got,
I don't know it, but
no the
well, not by name.
reported-
I might know what you're talking about.
It's reported to be the world's first, historically the world's first
Computer?
analog
Computer?
computer.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Where
they
it's all,
found it
like,
on a
fossilized
shipwreck.
over, and you can see all
on
the
the shipwreck.
gears and shit inside.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
It's coming
that,
at
and
you.
that's actually what I mean. I was hoping that you would talk about that within here because I mean when they first found it, I saw some National Geographic or some other channel that used to have an semblance of Pride. I saw it on some channel like that, and there was some special about it.
Used to have
and this
an
is before
semblance of pride.
this is before they had even like X-rayed it and shit. They were just like, "Hey, we found this thing. There's gears sticking out of it. What the fuck, you know?"
Yeah.
And this has always really intrigued me because this absolutely is ridiculously old and
Yep.
is absolutely the real McCoy genuine fucking artifact. So
And the fact
I
that it
mean, yeah,
survived
it's-
on the bottom of the ocean for centuries too should tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
It's quite a bit older than that cup, that's for sure. Same region though. Cause
what region is that?
Greece, the Greece area.
Okay. For some reason, I
Yeah.
was thinking like Samaria, but it's not quite that old.
No, Antikythera is an island off of the Greece, Alpha Greece, and that whole.
How does that
Mediterranean.
movie keep coming up in our podcast?
Seriously, the fucking.
Summer loving,
the
man.
one I
Summer
want.
loving.
Oh man.
Okay, now I desperately want a Robert one-man show showing of Grease, where he does all of the characters in costume, in character voice, with choreography.
You're going to be sadly
I mean-
disappointed because this white boy cannot dance.
If he wants
No,
to be lazy,
that
I'll
would-
settle
would
just
be
for
better.
his version of Beauty School Dropout.
Yes, if you mean if by settle you mean die of ecstasy, then yes,
Yep.
me too.
Corporal Robot, the Beauty School Dropout.
I will get right on that.
Oh man,
I will put
so
it
glad
high
that I
on my
showed you how to
priority
use
list.
Audacity. Yes. Okay, so this computer's off the coast of Greece.
No, if I'm ever dying of a terminal illness or some shit like that, you're doing it in my hotel room or in my hospital room. I'm sorry,
Oh man,
you're doing it
and you have to do it. That's his Make-A-Wish kid wish. So
on my deathbed. Yep, that's my Make-A-Wish kid wish. Robot going Beauty school dropout. Beauty school dropout.
As
You
long as I
gotta
don't
do
have
your own
to,
background singing and
as
everything.
long as I don't have to dye my hair pink, I think I can make that happen.
You don't have to dye your hair pink, but you do have to wear a pink wig.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Okay,
that's easy
okay,
enough. So
I
when
can
you walk
arrange
out of
that.
there, you can keep
Okay,
some of your.
good.
Someone
dignity.
send me the words. I'll record it tomorrow.
All right, good.
That's awesome. All right, so, all right, yeah. Again, I'm not gonna go too far into it. You'll see it on Ancient Aliens. You'll see it all over the place. If you look for it, you'll find it fucking everywhere. This thing is cool though. It's really cool. So, 1902, couple sponge divers, looking at shipwrecks and shit, pulled up this wooden box. And in this wooden box, they found a lump of shit of fossilized, damn near coral growing on this fucking thing, lump of metal, basically. After a little while, they broke it into 3 main pieces, and then after the process of not really restoration, but you know how they do, damn scientists,
Damn
meticulous,
scientists.
meticulous work. They wound up with 82 main fragments, or 82 fragments. 4 of them contain gears, like actual gears, and the others have some of the others, have actual inscriptions on them.
Oh,
So, yeah, the device actually kind of comes with its own instruction manual, as
Wow.
well as settings, basically, is what's going on.
So it not only could it compute something, it could compute a few different somethings.
Yeah, it computes several things.
They believed
Yeah.
it to be
It-
an astronomical type thing for when you're sailing. You can kind of plug in where you're at, view the stars, and it tells you, okay, you're 50 miles from here. You need to go this way.
Wow.
Right?
I wonder if you could spell boobs on it though.
Ooh, that's a good question. 7734. Oh no, sorry, that's hell. My bad.
8008, man. Or if you want to be fancy,
8008.
58008.
5. Yeah, we need both. Can't neglect the other one. So yeah, this thing is fucking awesome. They speculate that it tracks the zodiac, the entire zodiac constellation, and all of their
Sweet.
movements. So
It'd be cool if it tracked the Zodiac Killer, because we still don't know who he is.
that would be badass if its inscriptions told us who he was.
It's
That would
Jake
be
Gyllenhaal.
aliens. Yep. That would definitely be aliens coming back to tell us some shit like that. That'd be crazy. So, it tracks the zodiac constellations to such a degree that they can use it to then make your own astrological charts.
Wow.
They can track it ahead of time. They can use it to speed up and see where your planet's going to be at every point in your life to make your astrological chart off of this. Right. That's fucking crazy on its own. It tracks the planets. It tracks the cycles of the moon and its eclipses. It also tracks the 4-year cycle for the Olympic Games.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's fucking crazy,
wait.
right?
So the Olympic Games only gets their period once every 4 years?
Yeah. They got one of those IUD things that kind of cuts down on
Lucky.
their flow.
Okay, see, now I dragged us into the gutter, so sorry.
Nasty
Let's go.
motherfucker.
Hey, now you're taking my stick, okay?
Hey,
So-
man, we got to measure them once an episode.
Indeed. So they speculate that in all, when they put it back together and their ideas for it, that it probably had 37 gears in all. and was originally made of 95% copper and about 5% tin. So,
Okay.
not very strong device,
No,
but
I was about to say it seems a little dainty even.
pretty badass. And again, how the fucking what the fuck and where the fuck did they come up with the idea for this thing? Who
And the fact
envisioned
that
this?
we've only found one.
One, yes,
and
yet again, yes.
Nothing ever like it again from that time period or before or any time after, like, right? Like,
Actually,
Or any make
for
mention
another
of it in a
1,000
story.
plus years, right?
1,000
Again,
plus years.
yeah.
Could you think
No,
somebody
no
would
mention
mention
of it in any. No mention of it
Right.
in any historical accounts. No prototypes. No cheaper version. No Chinese version.
Here's my guess for this one. What it was for, how it came to be, and once again, I'm trying to use my brain to actually put myself in that time period and shit. I think this was maybe like an extravagant gift to a child by a toy maker.
Oh hell no!
Yeah,
No,
like a toy maker that dealt with like gears and shit like that, and maybe for royalty or something. And that the royalty is the only thing that fits in with why there would be only one.
Royalty, yes, but for a child, no. This had to have been something that one of your guys like fucking John D back in the day would have had. Like he had to have been a mathematician, an astronomer, a learned man, and highly respected man in the court in everybody's eyes.
This is like a
this
Da
had to have
Vinci
been the
type
guy,
deal.
a fortune teller. What's that?
I said
Oh,
this would be
like
like
a
a
Da
Da Vinci, because he had
Yeah,
the engineering, he had the artistic, he had the vision to be able to do something. It's
but
way
this-
before him, but it had to be
This would
someone
have
like
been Da
him.
Vinci plus the Oracle.
Yeah.
This would have
Okay,
been if
wow.
those two had the bastard love child, because this guy could predict your future basically with his astrological charts and all that kind of shit. He'd tell you what kind of person you are and all that kind of shit, and probably where you're going to be sitting on the what kind of seats you have for the next Olympic Games and shit. Like this was a device that just fucking blows everybody's mind and was not seen again, the likes of which for another 1,000 plus years. No culture ever, including the Greeks, ever made anything even remotely that complicated again for another 1,000 plus years. It's fucking crazy.
I say he was conscripted by royalty to make something cool for them. He did it, and then they killed him so no one else could get another one.
Bastards.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
All right. Well, we're running long, so you said you saved the best for last. So let's get
did.
to that best. Let's get to it.
Yeah. This one's really cool, and it's very similar to the Cole stories, but pièce de résistance for sure. Okay, so this thing is called the London Hammer. And a quickie of this you can also see on Ancient
Worst
Aliens.
porn name ever.
Yeah, it's another one of those.
I was about to say that's what I call my penis.
Nice, the London Hammer. Is that because you like punk music, or because you're white, or what?
No, it's just it's catchy.
Oh.
It's got a beat you can dance to. Anyway, let's go.
Chicks expected to have a fun accent.
Oh, and it does. It goes.
Wait, it's Russian?
It's a transplant. Let's do this.
Okay, so you got a foster child. Oh, that's nasty. You're fostering penises. It's so gross. All right, so this thing was found in London, Texas, not London, England.
Oh, bitch.
Right. So yeah, it's a whole different kind of funny accent. In 1936. So as they were walking along, this husband and wife, Max Hahn and his wife, they found this thing sticking out of a rock, right?
Okay.
So
Mhm.
they spotted this loose rock with a bit of wood that seemed to be embedded in it. And they picked it up and they took it home. And later on, a decade later, they sat with this rock with a piece of wood sticking out of it, thinking it was that cool for 10 years.
I mean, it is pretty cool.
It is. Before their son came along and cracked that motherfucker open. Okay. When he did so, he found the rest of a fucking hammer concealed inside the rock.
I thought you were gonna say like that was the hammer, like the piece of wood was somehow affixed to this fucking rock, and that was the hammer, and that's what was cool about it. And I was like, that's not that cool, but I guess it's pretty neat. But no, there was a hammer inside the rock.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, hence the name, the London Hammer. The metal hammerhead, here's a little bit of the numbers on it. The metal hammerhead is approximately 6 inches long and has a diameter of 1 inch, leading some to suggest that this hammer was not used for large projects, but rather for fine work or soft metal. The metal of the hammerhead has been confirmed to consist of 96.6% iron, 2.6% chlorine, and 0.74% sulfur.
Wow.
The hammerhead has not rusted since its discovery in the mid-1930s.
Well, it's been inside a rock.
Right. Well, it's since the 40s it's been exposed. Then, so yeah, this thing goes on to say that some people have noted that the style of the hammer could be consistent with typical American tools that were manufactured in that region in the late 1800s. Others are talking about how the rock possibly could have formed around it, being a concretion of sorts.
Because that's the biggest fucking question here is how rock.
Right. So
I don't think that long pause of silence was necessary for that. You acted like I said something terrible.
I heard a robot and
You made
I
me
just
feel
went
really
dead.
bad. Yeah.
yeah,
You
you
made me
blinked
feel
out.
really bad with that. I blinked out? No, I just
Yeah,
said
your
how
voice
rock.
blinked out.
No,
Oh,
I
how
said
why?
The big how rock question
Oh.
mark.
Oh, I thought there was another. There was
Nope.
more of a sentence. So you fucked us up then.
You guys know how I talk.
So what made him
You guys
crack
know how
the
to
rock
talk.
open? I mean, after holding it for 10 years, I mean, was he like carrying it out to the garage? His wife was like, "Get this out of the living room. It's been here forever." And he was like carrying it out to the
They
garage
said
and
that
drops it?
His son got it or something?
Or is
Yeah,
he
his
just
son
looked
did
at
it,
it and
but-
said, "I'm going to break this fucker open"?
He was like, you guys know that piece of wood's connected to something that ain't that rock, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't say how or why he did it, but it finally happened.
smart, Jimmy Jr. I wish that Jimmy Sr. was as smart as you. And then Jimmy Sr.'s like, shut up, lady. I'm the one that found the goddamn thing, and if I wanted to break it open, I would have broke it open. But I guess Jimmy Jr. could do it if he want. And then Jimmy Jr.'s like, all right, Paul, well, let me get your hammer out of the garage, and then I'll break it open for y'all nice and good. And
Nobody touches
thank
Paul's
you,
hammer.
Jimmy Jr. And who did what now?
I said nobody touches Pa's hammer.
I'm so glad that you cut me off with that because I didn't know where that was going.
You suck.
I was just sitting back watching you burn. I was just like,
Oh, it was
So-
gruesome.
One explanation for how rock, like you said, is you know how limestone is fairly well water soluble. You know how it drips from the cave ceiling and builds up and creates the stalactite or stalagmite or whatever.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so that's what they're thinking, is that somehow the hammer was dropped back in the late 1880s or whatever, and somehow the water built, like, washed over there and brought all these minerals, limestone minerals, and settled right there, and then somehow hardened and created its own like limestone concretion
Right.
See,
around.
to me, the rock
The
isn't
hammer.
the weird part. It's why is it not rusting?
Because it's inside a rock.
Well, no, even if it was water took it into the rock, it would rust.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
Yeah, I
gone. It
guess.
would just be dust inside of a rock after a while. Why didn't it rust and go away?
Well, the rock would have had to have formed around it super fucking quickly.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
within a week or two for it not to have rusted. And even that, with that kind of metal, is a long time to be out in the elements with no rust.
Well, still, it attached to a piece of wood, and the wood sticking out into the elements would have drawn moisture into it anyway.
Right.
It
Yeah.
still would have fucking rusted.
And the wood
And
would have
it
rotted.
can't be. I was about
Yeah.
to say it can't be that old because the wood would have rotted away.
So, how the fuck?
I still don't. Even though we sound more confident with these explanations for things that we're saying, but we're not getting ourselves any closer to the real answer to why at all.
No, because this is fucking crazy. That's never happened, as far as we know. That kind of thing takes upwards of let's see, what is this? 400 million years. Four
Hmm.
I
zero
was gonna
zero.
say my son left a pair
Zero,
of pliers
zero,
on the
zero.
back porch for like 2 weeks.
Zero,
and I just
zero,
had to
zero.
throw them away because they were rusted shut.
Yeah.
Now-
I find rusted tools inside my house somehow. So how this happened?
Now, the metal is not rusting. However, it has begun the process of, I don't know the scientific word for it, but it's basically like petrifying.
Huh?
It's begun that
It's
process.
petrifying. So
The
it's turning
wood
to stone.
Of the handle, no. It's basically the same type of process
Well,
like
that would explain why the
something
wood
that
didn't,
takes a
didn't
shit.
rot away if it did petrify.
The wood itself is starting to petrify as well. So the iron is going through a process that would have taken the same amount of time as the wood would have taken to petrify, but whatever process the metal goes through is what it's going through, but it's fairly consistent with the time period of petrification. How long that would have taken this wooden handle to go through,
You said
to
there
start
was,
going through?
You said there was chlorine in it too. I thought chlorine is corrosive to metals as well.
It is.
That's exact.
Very.
Yeah, especially when mixed with any kind of moisture whatsoever. So,
Right.
wow.
This is weird.
Okay,
all over.
well, okay. So my explanation for this one is, God hates us all.
Well, it's funny you bring that guy up, because the hammer was bought by creationist Carl Bow in 1983, who claimed the artifact was a monumental pre-flood discovery. He
Oh my
has
God.
used it, and this is Wikipedia's little.
Oh,
quick
that makes my brain
piece of
hurt
it.
just thinking about it.
He has used it as the basis of speculation of how the atmospheric quality of a pre-flood Earth could have encouraged the growth of giants. The hammer is now an exhibit in Bow's Creation Evidence Museum, which sells replicas of it to
That
visitors.
is just where it needs to be. Is in a Okay. Well,
I wholeheartedly believe in the
wait,
giants.
before.
Because we found skeletons and everything else. I mean, I'm not talking about like 30, 40
No,
feet. I'm talking about like 12, 15-foot people. We found
haven't-
skeletons.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't see how flooding the earth would make giants. That's just, like I said, I'm going to need some Excedrin after that quote.
I love it.
Oh shit. Okay, well, before I just go the fuck off on creationists, because that could take another fucking hour and a half, and because Chris's phone line is getting so much more robot-y by the minute,
Uh-oh.
and Third, somehow my dog knows exactly when the hour and 30-minute fucking mark is up.
Yep.
Because he starts barking at me.
He
because
totally
he's
did.
He's gonna pee on the fucking floor.
I do have one
He's
thing
like,
before
what are
we
you, a
go.
high school girl?
I do have one
Wait,
thing before we
yeah,
go.
go for it, Rob.
We all have to go
Okay.
to Chernobyl. They have a scientific study that they have radiated spiders there, and I think we should all go and become Spider-Man.
Wait, I was about to say,
I want some
and
superpowers.
they let him bite you?
Well, they're radiated to a point where you can't even touch them or go near them. They make weird webs, like half a web, and the other half is just non-existent. And I'm sitting there thinking
Well, yeah,
the whole
'cause they
time,
have cancer.
Spider-Man.
No, it's cancer. It's spider cancer. That's not exciting. That's sad.
Oh, why you gotta rain on my parade? I was thinking all three of us could be Spider-Man.
I'm down
Well,
for superpowers.
well, first of all three of us couldn't be Spider-Man. I think we all know that if any one of us were Spider-Man, it would be me because I've got the wisecracking ability.
Well,
and
my luck is
just
I would
the
get bit
huge
by the
bulging
radiated
dong.
pig, and I would become Bebop from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you're already halfway there with all your hair.
There you go.
Well, the hair and the multiple nipples. But anyway,
Multiple
So-
nipples.
All right.
in closing, I would like to thank Chris Barrios, TrisMegistus3.com, and Robert Cook. That's it. You're part of the show now. You just get your name.
What?
One, because hello, you are now ingrained into the wonderfulness that is this show, and two, because I've gotten so tired of trying to come up with new names
I was
for
gonna
you.
say, are you dying, Jason? Is there something we should know? Do you know?
I mean, slowly inside every day, but
No doubt.
also, as well, I have been Jason Rambo, and you have just listened to another
Oh, here comes
Goddamn.
the hammer. I forgot to send you guys the picture of the hammer.
goddamn head-scratching episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
Indeed. Scratching of the nuggets. And our heads, too. For the UFOs, the conspiracies, and the Moitas. And I didn't even mention UFOs. I mean, I did, but I didn't.
And me.
It wasn't my theory.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I love it.
So,
All right,
yeah,
and
there's the
next,
hammer if you want to look at it real quick.
Next show, Chris, you and I are going to jump in right after you're done with the end, and we're both going to do the and me
Oof.
before him, and he's going to feel so bad.
I'm telling you, I won't know what to do with myself. Well,
Countdown.
At least not in public.
3, 2, 1.
Good night, kids. Be safe.
Good night, alien.